Have you ever noticed something strange? Your pet sometimes understands your mood before you even say a word. Maybe you walk into the house after a long day. You haven't spoken, you haven't called their name, and somehow your dog already runs to you, tail going crazy like they knew you needed that moment. Or your cat, the one that acts like it owns the house, somehow shows up and quietly sits next to you the one night you feel a little off. And you pause for a second and think, wait, how did they know that? Here's the thing most people don't realize. There's a quiet language happening between humans and animals all the time, and weirdly, most of it has nothing to do with words. It's tone, it's body movement, it's emotional energy, it's routine, it's attention. Animals are insanely good at reading these things. Dogs especially can read human micro-expressions better than most people can. If your shoulders drop slightly, they notice. If your breathing changes, they notice. If your voice softens by just a little, yeah, they catch that too. And here's something kind of mind-blowing. Most pets learn your emotional patterns the same way we learn someone's personality. They memorize the tiny shifts, when you're excited, when you're stressed, when you're lonely, when you're calm. They don't need language to understand that story. They read the signals. And honestly, sometimes I think animals understand emotional honesty better than humans do. Because humans listen to words, animals listen to behavior. Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever had a moment where your pet suddenly came over and checked on you for absolutely no obvious reason, and it weirdly felt like they knew something was wrong? If you've experienced that, you already know what I'm talking about. And yeah, I'm curious, actually. Drop a comment later and tell me the moment your pet surprised you the most. Those stories are honestly the best part of having animals in our lives. Now, here's another piece people rarely talk about. That language goes both ways. We're constantly learning to read them too. Think about it. Pet owners eventually recognize tiny signals that outsiders miss completely. The way a dog tilts its ears, the slow blink of a cat, the difference between a play bark and a warning bark. It's like a silent vocabulary forms over time. Not written, not spoken, but deeply understood. And the longer you live with an animal, the stronger that language becomes, because trust is basically the foundation of every meaningful connection, whether it's human or animal. A dog that trusts you will look at you for guidance. A cat that trusts you will relax around you in a completely different way. That trust turns simple behaviors into communication. A dog bringing you a toy isn't always about playing. Sometimes it's their way of saying, hey, you look tense, let's reset the mood a little. And a cat slowly blinking at you, that's basically cat language for, I feel safe around you. And honestly, once you learn these signals, the relationship with your pet becomes way deeper than most people expect. You stop seeing them as just a pet. They start feeling more like a quiet companion who understands your life in a strange, emotional way, which is probably why losing a pet can hit people so hard, because that silent language disappears overnight, and anyone who has experienced that knows exactly what I mean. But here's the beautiful part of this whole thing. That connection we build with animals actually teaches us something about ourselves too. Pets force us to slow down. They respond to our real emotions, not the version of ourselves we try to show the world. You can't fake energy around animals. They pick up on authenticity instantly. And honestly, I think that's one of the reasons so many people feel calm around their pets. There's no judgment, no social pressure, no complicated conversation, just presence, just connection, just this quiet understanding that doesn't need explaining. And if you think about it, that kind of communication is pretty rare in modern life, which is why moments with animals often feel strangely grounding. So the next time your pet stares at you, or sits next to you for no obvious reason, or greets you like you just returned from a 5-year adventure, remember this: they're not just reacting.
They're communicating in a language humans forgot how to use a long time ago. And if you pay close attention, you might realize something really beautiful. Your pet has probably been understanding you all along, even on the days you barely understood yourself. And hey, before you go, I'd genuinely love to hear something. What's one moment where your pet made you stop and think, okay, that was weird. They definitely knew something.
Those stories say a lot about how deep this connection really goes.
Because once you start noticing this silent language, you'll never look at your pet the same way again.